Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to yet another Championship predictions video. Today we are back with the upcoming Championship fixtures for this weekend, and I'm joined by Harry, my man. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm alright, mate. I'm not too bad. I've not done any preparation for this, not like me. I'm not even going to look at the fixtures. I'm going completely off the dome.
Yeah, why not? You can get them right this way. Obviously, there wasn't any midweek games, so we're going from last week's set of results. Let's start with Friday night's game between Fulham and AFC Bournemouth, first versus second. What a matchup this is. Obviously, it's on the Friday night. It should be a good game, and I can see why Sky Sports have picked this one. I think Fulham just look a little bit more convincing at the moment. They're obviously top at the moment. Both of them have been picking up a couple of draws lately, but I just fancy Fulham. I think Mitro, if he's fit, he'll be in there, but don't know. Fulham 1-0, I think it'll be a tight one.
Yes. Yeah, no, I agree with what you say. Bournemouth have been I think they've got, 1,000,004 maybe. They're not doing very well. I don't know the exact stat, but they've not picked up as many wins as they would like to. Obviously, they should have won against us at the weekend, but bottling it would we think, putting it lightly. I just think they might bounce back for this though. I don't feel like they're going to lose it. It's just whether they're going to win it or not. And do you know what? I'll back them. I think it'll be 2-1 the Cherries.
2-1 to Bournemouth. Big prediction. Next up, we move on to Saturday's lunchtime game, which obviously sees our team Coventry City go up against West Bromwich Albion, 6th versus 4th. And obviously, tributes will be being paid to John Sillett, obviously former Coventry City manager, won us the FA Cup in '87, and I really do want there to be a big crowd to give him a good send-off. Obviously, the Baggies, it's not going to be an easy game, but they don't look convincing at the moment. I know Coventry City have drawn their last 3, but that's actually 4 unbeaten. So, because it's a special occasion, and because West Brom don't look great at the moment, I'm going to back the Sky Blues 2-1.
Yeah, gone for my thinking exactly. A special occasion, but I mean, yeah, okay. You don't really want to try and take that as too big of a thing. But when you're at home and there's that extra boost of, this is a big rivalry actually between the two of us. It's not fierce necessarily, but it's a local rivalry. I think it's the closest we've got to a proper rivalry in this division apart from Birmingham. So we should be well up for this game. West Brom haven't been their best, neither have we. It might end up being quite a scrappy game. I'm hesitant to say we'll win it. I think this could be another draw. I think this could be another Desmond, actually. I think 2-2.
2-2, that would be an interesting game. We'll move on to the 3 p.m. kickoffs. We've got a derby in the Yorkshire derby between Barnsley and Huddersfield Town. Barnsley just less than convincing at the moment. They're just not looking good, and the writing seems to be on the wall despite them not being rock bottom. I even think Derby County have got a better chance. Huddersfield Town, they're quite good on their day. The last couple of results haven't been great. I fancy Barnsley maybe to get a draw because they're at home. Barnsley 1, Huddersfield 1.
I don't. Not really. Huddersfield are up there. They look like they could have the consistency to go the distance. I'd certainly back them for top 10. They look a much improved team from last season, and Barnsley have gone completely the other way. While Huddersfield have gone through the roof, Barnsley have gone through the floor, and I can only see that carrying on, I'm afraid. While they may have improved a little bit since they brought in their new manager, and I think any big improvement was short-lived because they've just not picked up as many points as they need to not trouble the drop zone this season. I feel like they will be one of those 3 that go down to the dreaded 3rd tier. Question is, for this score, I think Huddersfield, they should have this quite comfortably at 2-0.
Yeah. We'll go from a Yorkshire derby to a Lancashire derby in the shape of Blackburn Rovers versus Preston North End. Blackburn come out of nowhere to steam all the way into the playoffs, and they maybe fancy themselves here, but Preston are the kind of team they'll just turn up and beat you when you're in good form. They're a stubborn team and they're picking up decent wins here and there, Preston. So, do you know what? Despite Blackburn's good form, I'm going to go for Preston to pick up a 1-0 win here.
I was going for 1-0. Yeah, I think Preston will do them. Blackburn, big old cliche. Tony Mowbray, it's December. He's got about 2 weeks left and then it's fight relegation. That's just the way it always seems to go with Mowbray, I'm afraid. I hope it don't happen because I think Blackburn are a good side and I think they're bigger than the Championship. I think this game it'll be Preston's day. I think they're kind of the magicians rather than smash and grabs at unexpected times, certainly in recent years. So 1-0.
1-0. Next up we move on to Blackpool FC versus Luton Town, two of the teams chasing the playoffs but both lost last week. Blackpool away to Birmingham, Luton at home to Cardiff. So both need to get back to winning ways here, but I look at this game and I think they're both chasing the playoffs. I like both of them. I like the way they both play football. I'm struggling to call this one. So Blackpool 1, Luton Town 1.
Yeah, Blackpool have really sort of taken this division by storm to some degree. Certainly I don't think anyone expected them to do as well as they had so far this season. Dropped away a little bit in recent weeks, slipping down the table somewhat. But they do look like a good team. They look like a very good team. And Luton, sometimes they're on it, sometimes they're not. They are quite an inconsistent team, but when they turn up they can slap you. This one's tough. I'm going to go for another Desmond, I think, on this one.
2-2. Next up we go to Bristol City versus Derby County, a big game down the bottom end of the division. Bristol City, I've not been massively convinced by them this season, but they have picked up enough results to keep themselves above the trouble at the moment. But Derby County, obviously their points deductions has meant they're playing catch up all season, and against QPR it was a frustrating one. They took the lead but QPR snatched it late on, a game with really good goals. But I think if anyone was to win, I'd maybe back Derby County, but I just look at Bristol City. They're at home to Derby here. Their fans will just not let them lose this game. They need to at least get something, so I might go for a share of the spoils. Derby have been drawing a lot. Bristol City really can't afford to lose this. 1-1.
I think Derby win this. I think if you're Nigel Pearson, who is still the manager.
Yeah.
I think if you're Nigel Pearson, then you're looking over your shoulder at this point, because I expected big things. I'm sure a lot of the Bristol City fans did. I'm sure he probably did, but he's not been able to reach that sort of standard. And Derby might look at this game and have a sniff and just go, do you know what? There are 3 points available here, and I think I'll take them. It's 2-0, I'm going to say, to Derby.
2-0 to Derby. Big game, that one. Next up we'll move down to South Wales, where we've got Cardiff City versus Sheffield United. Cardiff with a big win at Luton last week, but Sheffield United, since the international break, 3 clean sheets, 2 wins in the last 2. Is there a slight resurgence on Sheffield United? A long way to go, obviously, this season. Could they still make the playoffs? It's possible, and obviously they've changed the manager. Cardiff seem to be turning a bit of a corner themselves, so another draw here. I might go 0-0.
Yeah, the results have been picking up for both these teams in the last couple of weeks. Sheffield United obviously got rid of Jokanovic, brought back Paul Heckingbottom, who knows the club very well, but his managerial credentials aren't quite to the same level. But if you're good enough as a manager and you know the club well enough, it doesn't always matter necessarily. This one I can see being quite cagey, quite tight. I think 0-0's a good shout on this one. I just feel like both teams will go into this game thinking, okay, our form's picking up a little bit, let's just not lose, and shore up the defences a little bit more than they might normally do.
Yeah. Next up we go to Middlesbrough versus Swansea City. Big game this one. Middlesbrough with a big win last time out at Huddersfield. Duncan Watmore with 2 goals. The second one, an absolute delight. Swansea City lost at home to Reading. I fancy Middlesbrough to maybe get another win here. I think at home they might fancy their chances. They've been starting games quite well. It's just about getting over the line and finishing strong. Swansea City are obviously decent on their day, so you've got to be careful. But maybe Middlesbrough will win this one 2-1.
Yeah, Swansea are weird to me at times, because when they're on it, they're possibly one of the best passing teams in the division. Well, probably one of the best passing teams in the division. Whether the best, I don't know, but some of the football they play is very slinky. You know, it's nice football they play at times, and it's just whether they can turn up and do that in this game. I feel like they probably should be able to, but Middlesbrough, since Wilder's come in, he's done a decent job. They look solid as well. It's another one where I think it might end up being quite a cagey game. I'm going to go for 1-1 on this one. 1-1.
Next up we go down to Millwall versus Birmingham City. 2 robust teams. It could be a really tight, low-scoring affair. Now I've said that, it could be a 3-3 draw, but I think 1 goal will win this. And Birmingham City are a very streaky team. They go on good runs, they go on bad runs, and they've just won last week. Why not? 1-0 to Birmingham.
I think Birmingham are... You know, you always get 1 or 2 teams in the division which you would classify as football terrorists. I think that's how I would classify Birmingham City this season. They just play hoofball and hack people down. Okay, maybe there's a case that red card against Coventry wasn't a red, but it was a cynical foul regardless. And I think that's their style of play. And it works at times, at other times they get found out. I feel like they could do it in this one. I agree. I feel like this is 1-0 to Birmingham. I'm not so sure it's going to be a classic though.
No, 1-0 to Birmingham City though. It would be a big 3 points. Next up, Nottingham Forest take on Peterborough United. Peterborough missed the opportunity to beat Barnsley and keep up the pace with the sort of bottom 6. They've kind of been cut adrift a bit. They need to get a win here, but they're not good on the road. Nottingham Forest still having a good run under the new manager, so I think Peterborough will battle, but Forest will get their 3 points. 2-1 to Forest here.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think Peterborough can be a very good footballing side. I think they struggle a lot of times, certainly away from home. Forest had a really poor start, and they made the right decision to sack Chris Hughton. They've been going on a better run since then. I can't see anything other than a Forest win for this game. 3-1 I'm going to go for. I just think they can tear Peterborough apart a little bit.
3-1 to Forest. The last game on the Saturday is between Reading and Hull City. Hull City, 4 wins in a row. Would be a madness if they get a 5th win here, and all of a sudden they just don't seem to be in that relegation battle anymore, but they need to keep this going. As long as this keeps going, the less they'll worry at the end of the season about a relegation battle. Reading, meanwhile, not great. They're also on a sort of similar level to Hull City down that end of the table. If it wasn't for the 6 points, you'd think they'd probably be looking at a mid-table season, but could get sucked into it if Peterborough and Barnsley catch up at all. I fancy Hull City here. The form they're in, 2-0.
Yeah, well, that's the exact issue with Reading at the moment. They are now down there through no fault of the players, no fault of the manager. They might well start to feel the pressure now, because it is really on them. They shouldn't be relegated. They've got a good enough squad. But if they don't start getting points, getting wins, getting convincing wins, playing proper football, then they could find themselves in the thick of this by Christmas. Hull, I was actually really surprised. I looked at the table yesterday and saw they'd climbed up quite a long way. Full respect to them, because at one point they looked like they were relegated before Christmas, didn't they? And they really just forgot how to play football at times. And I honestly think that they can win this quite happily. I think, while it won't be a pasting, I think 2-0 will be a comfortable result for Hull City.
And the last game is on the Sunday. It's between 2 teams aiming to finish in the playoffs this year, Queen's Park Rangers and Stoke City. Stoke City last week obviously lost to Blackburn Rovers. That was a result that saw Blackburn climb into the playoffs and Stoke City fall outside. And then QPR on the Monday, a big win at Derby County. And let's not forget that that's actually a really impressive win. Derby County have been really hard to break down this season. Do I fancy QPR here? I feel like Stoke need to bounce back, so they might make it difficult. I think this could be a share of the spoils. QPR 1, Stoke City 1.
Yeah, this is one of those where you don't really know what the best result is for us.
No.
You don't really want either team to win. And based on that and that alone, I'm going to go for a 1-1. No, QPR are the form team, obviously, out of these two. Stoke are, they are a very good team. Nicknamed Sexy Stoke, rightly or wrongly. They have their moments for sure. They like to play some good team football. And both teams are capable of winning this. I just feel like they may well cancel each other out. 0-0 for me.
0-0 in that one. That wraps up today's predictions, guys. Let me know yours down below. Obviously, a big weekend of fixtures coming at you, so get your predictions in, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new around here, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.